Good day, boxing fans. Saturday night on The Zone at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. It's one of boxing's rising young stars, Jaron Boots Ennis, who will be plying his trade when he takes on the unified WBO and WBA super welterweight or junior middleweight champion of the world from Puerto Rico, and I'm talking about Xander Zayas. Now, two undefeated champions. Somebody's always got to go. What is not to like? Let's break it down. Well, firstly, I would say this is a legitimate fight. Jaron Boots Ennis is undefeated. He's 35-0 with 31 knockouts, a very impressive record. He's a former Unified and Ring Magazine welterweight champion of the world. He got that by stopping Eimantas Stanionis, and he kept chasing the big fight, fight against Terence Crawford at welterweight. It never materialized, and he's beaten everybody put in front of him, but he's lacking that big name, big star to put him in that elite pound for pound mix. But I and many others think that he is talent-wise in that mix. He is an elite level talent. Now, Xander Zayas on his own, he is 23-0 with 13 knockouts. So not quite that high a knockout ratio, but he's a very, very good fighter. He definitely does have enough power in his punches to keep you honest. Quick hands, he puts his combinations together very well. He's an accurate puncher, and he has quick feet as well. He moves well, he boxes well, puts his punches together well. And I think Xander Zayas, he likes to control things from the center of the ring or at the mid distance. He won the vacant WBO belt against a guy we know over here in South Africa, and that's of course Jorge Garcia Perez, the Mexican fighter who upended our own Rourke Knapp. And we underestimated him a lot then, and since then he got some good wins, but he was thoroughly outpointed by Zayas. Now, he had his moments there, Garcia, during that fight. He did land a few left hooks, he did land a few right hands, but he was just outclassed. He didn't have the feet and the speed to keep up with Xander Zayas, and Zayas ran home a convincing points winner. And in his next fight, he unified the belts against his WBA counterpart, Abbas Baru. That was a more difficult fight. Zayas once again used his speed and his boxing to get ahead on the scorecard. Baru kept charging, and he came on late. It was a split decision. I can't quite agree with that. I think Zayas did enough to win, so the right guy won in my opinion. But Baru had him uncomfortable late in the fight. And there was, as I've said, Garcia on the fight before also had moments against Zayas where he tagged him. And what I've also noticed is if you can, Zayas keeps you from throwing your own punches because he keeps you preoccupied with defense, because he's got a good work rate and he keeps clipping those combinations through. So his opponents are occupied about not getting hit with that or going under that, so they forget to punch with him. But once they get through that and they start punching with him in small spots there, even though he didn't win many rounds, Garcia succeeded, and late in the fight, Abbas Baru also got through to Xander Zayas. You know, he doesn't like it on the inside. He tends to hold there, although there towards the end he slugged it out with Baru. Good fight that. Go check it out on YouTube. It's up there. But Zayas, he gets tagged with a straight right hand. That's a punch that works against Zayas. If you throw a straight right hand, it works. Now, Jaron Ennis, he's the kind of guy that can switch hit. He can fight southpaw, he can fight orthodox. He's got power in both hands. He can throw all the punches. You know, when he went up to junior middleweight, he fought another guy that we know here in South Africa. This whole connection I've got going here, Ismail Lima, who once again beat one of our local guys, Shavante Koopman. Now, Lima was a tough nut, but it never came into equation because Jaron Ennis caught him and stopped him in the first round. Now, so far Jaron Ennis' chin has held up very well, but he has been hit. You know, he uses his natural talent to get out of trouble, but his hands are sometimes all over the place. He doesn't use the orthodox ways of defense, so he does get tagged sometimes, and I get the impression that, you know, nobody's been able to hurt him to make him worry about it. And often you get fighters that are so talented that they do things wrong, but it still turns out great. They do things wrong in the sense that's not the way you're going to teach a kid that just comes into the gym. You know, Ali used to have his hands low, and you can think of Prince Nazim Ahmed, who those step over, switch hitting hands, and Roy Jones Jr., but they were such great talents that the reflexes were so sharp that they got away with it. And to an extent, I think that's the thing with Jaron Ennis up until now. But I think this is a fight that really can go any which way. I'm wondering whether Xander Zayas will be able to take what Jaron Ennis is going to dish out, because obviously he's carried his power up to junior middleweight. What's going to happen if Jaron Ennis tags him the way Garcia even did, and Abbas Baru, who's a pressure fighter but not a crippling puncher, caught him late in their fight? What happens then? Is he going to get hurt, and is Jaron Ennis going to take him out then? Because Ennis is a very good finisher. Now, can Xander Zayas hurt Jaron Ennis? If he can't get people like Garcia out of there and people like Baru out of there, okay, they are tough guys. Nobody else has been able to, but he didn't really have them in trouble. Yeah, I'm thinking Jaron Ennis's chin is going to hold up. I don't think Xander Zayas is going to knock out Jaron Ennis. But he's got better work rate. In some senses, since he's got better fundamentals here and there. It's obvious he doesn't like to be inside, but he will have that Latin machismo and press down and start slugging when he has to, like he did against Abbas Baru. I think that won't be a good idea against Jaron Ennis. But he has a better work rate than Jaron Ennis, and I think he's quicker than Jaron Ennis's last opponent. So if Xander Zayas can take what Jaron Ennis dishes out, he can fight at that steady clip and keep the space where he wants it, sort of in the center of a ring, mid-range to high range, and make sure he gets away from that straight right, because I'm sure Ennis's people will pick up on it and they'll go for that. Then we can be in for a very interesting fight. I think Xander Zayas' chance would be to outwork and outfight and outpoint Ennis. And Ennis would be to either just land the better shots, put Xander Zayas in the defensive shell, win on points, or catch him and knock him out. You guys must tell me down in the comments, who have you got? Jaron Ennis, Xander Zayas. How do they win? Why do they win? It's an interesting fight there in the Big Apple. But I think the king of New York in the end is going to be Jaron Ennis. I'm a big Ennis fan. He has got some chinks in his armor. But I don't think Xander Zayas is a guy with power to exploit that. So I'm thinking, I've also noted Zayas can fade a little bit late. I'm thinking Jaron Ennis, TKO 8. That's what I've got. And I think it's going to be a very good fight up until that point. And then, who do you want Jaron Ennis to fight next? He needs something to just lift him into that elite level, which I argue he already is. And then, I think, just clean out the division. There's Sebastian Fundora. And there's also, to a lesser extent, Josh Kelly, who's got the IBF belt there in England. But I would like him to see him take on another young gun that also needs a really definitive fight. And that is, of course, Virgil Ortiz. It was sort of talked about and then eventually didn't happen. But I hope after this we can see Jaron Ennis against Virgil Ortiz. That would be something really nice. Anyway, that's it from me, guys. As always, remember to keep those hands up.